Here comes our other artist, so we can almost get ready to kick her off here. Just doing a 360 on all these great people here today.
Are we ready?
Wait, here comes Christine. Let her get a seat and we'll be ready.
You got a whole row for us.
I'm just sitting here because I got the camera.
Okay. On behalf of the Red Creek Historical Association, welcome. I am glad to see so many people coming out in this beautiful, glorious weather. And thank you for those of you who are praying that it holds off till we're done. Thank you. We're going to have the Pledge of the Flag and First Verse of America, but because you're not supposed to have a flag out in the rain, we weren't sure what it was going to do. So if you need a flag, just shut your eyes and imagine one. Otherwise, please stand for the pledge, and Cub Scouts from 117 will lead us. Step over here, gentlemen. Talk into the microphone. Say that pledge, and everybody else will be on. Ready? Step a little closer.
Bring it down a little.
Okay, I pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yay. Do we want to sing? Yeah, we'll save that for later. Please be seated. And that was Cub Scout Troop 117. And now it is my pleasure to welcome our mayor, Chuck Palermo. Woohoo!
Thanks, everybody. And welcome. I'm so excited that everybody got to come out for this. I know, again, with the weather, but sorry. Can everybody hear me?
You can go up.
Can everybody hear me okay back there?
Yeah, now you can.
All right. So thank you all for coming out. I know the weather isn't perfect, but you know what? It is spring in upstate New York, and I think we've all lived here long enough to kind of expect this. So we haven't melted yet. But anyways, thank you all for coming. What a wonderful, wonderful tribute to the village of Red Creek. We're so excited. And I want to actually pass this over to Mark DeCracker. I think he's the... Is that what?
Am I up already?
I don't know.
Get out of here.
No.
I do want to take a minute to thank Ryan Sachs Print and Publishing thing for making the programs. If you don't have one yet, Star has them. Make sure you get one because someday they are going to be worth, probably a nickel and a half. So you might want to go and keep one. They did a beautiful job putting it together, and then Wyuga Press printed them off for us. So thank you. Mural Mania is an effort to beautify public places and preserve history, one mural at a time by highlighting local history. And so here to talk about the making of the Red Creek Historical Mural is the talented owner of Mural Mania, Mark DeCracker.
Okay.
Star, did you say 5?
Oh. Am I in the frame there?
Yeah.
Okay. I just got all my props here. Okay. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. Believe it or not, it was 15 years ago when we started all this mission here. I just got to pull out a couple things to recognize some people. Okay. It was a dream of, I was just president of the Lions Chamber of Commerce at the time. In a small community, you know, you had a lot of great businesses that were going on at one time, like Red Creek. You had a canning factory and all that, cannery. And what happens through time, the big boxes come in and things get moved, and we were struggling in Lions. What can we do? And I did a little search on the internet, and Little Rock, Arkansas was rated 245th out of 300 small cities in maybe 2000, the year 2000. They embarked on a mural program to see what they could do to improve their community. A couple years later, they jumped to 45th because of the murals. I said, you know, we can do that in Lions. And so I went to the late, great Winston Dobbins, who had a small town pharmacy. And he had a great postcard collection, like many of you historians do. And he showed me these postcards, and he handed me a brochure from Athens, Canada, that had mural program up there. And he goes, "Can you do this in Lyons?" And I said, "Sure." And I hooked up with his son, Noel Dobbins. Unfortunately, in January of 2007, Winston passed away. But so we came up with this idea of doing a mural because he was such a great he wasn't necessarily the historian. He's one of these people that do so much for the community and never get the title. He was it. So so I went to his son at his funeral and said, "No, do you think we can do this?" And he says, "I'll help you out." So I sent him an email, and I said, "Do you want to come and help with this?" He said, "Can I bring my kids?" I go, "Oh, 5 and 7-year-olds to paint?" "Yeah, we can do this." So, because you always want to make sure the youth are involved to grow the society. And they came by and we painted with the help of James Zeger, one of our mural friends. They painted the Lyons Farmers Market mural, which is still there. And we called it Mini Mural Mania. So we went on that, put the mural up, and it was just like this. It was a community effort. We had, here's Noel on the little tractor with the first mural that we put up. And there we are after the mural dedication, or the day we put it up. We actually had 250 people show up the day we did it. But the story that I want to tell is there's more than paint that goes on in Mural Mania. It's life. Noel, when I met him, had scleroderma. And if you don't know anything about it, it's a disease that takes away your skin, your arms. He had 3 prosthetics, arm, leg. Did that stop him? No. And that was always embedded in me, that he can do it, we can all do it. And here he is, out on the York rake, and there's a picture, here he is, the day of the dedication. And he said on the fence, almost 15 years ago in April, "Someday we're going to be famous. Someday Mural Mania is going to be world known." Well, we went on, and there is another picture. Then we'll get to Red Creek. But there's a picture of him helping. Sorry. I did say it was going to be a little windy. Okay, anyway. So we put the mural up, and in that summer, because of his driving energy, we painted 4 murals. We had 4 new murals in Lyons. And that just got the preservation of his community art through preservation history through community art started, Mural Mania. At the dedication, 250 people showed up from all the neighboring communities. And then they said, "Can we do this?" And then we go back to August 14th. We met Dawn Jordan. Perhaps you've seen her mural up in Weedsport and Port Byron. And she was having a dedication. She said, "Dawn, you want to be part of this Mural Mania thing? I think it could be huge." She said, "Sure." So they invited us, Port Byron invited us, or Weedsport invited us to their dedication. And on the way there, Noah and I were talking. I said, "Wouldn't it be cool if we had 40 miles of murals along the Erie Canal?" "Sure." And then later that year, like in October, we were dedicating our last mural, Step Back in Time. You did the same thing, kind of closed off the streets in Lyons. Everybody drove up in old cars. I have photos of it. It was cool. But Noel had cancer. And on his deathbed, where's my... Corey, you want to bring up our great paint? This is the best paint company in the world, Golden Paint, out of New Berlin, New York. And Noel, he's in Rochester General. He calls Golden Paint. "Can we get a paint donation to keep painting murals?" And he's a week away from dying. You never forget that. And I went on to passed away, but I was at the state fair, and a woman said from WCNY said, "You're there to carry on his dream." And there you are, Noel. It's happening still. We keep, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't hurt Golden Paint. That I think we're up to about 50 murals in Wayne County. Is that right? Something like that. Almost every community, I think, got a mural. And now Red Creek's got one.
The biggest one.
Red Creek has the biggest and the best one so far.
I'm going to talk about our artists in a second, but when you paint, it's more than just paint too. You got these great paint brushes, but hey, where's Joe? Joe?
Okay.
He left? Oh. Yeah, but just like a Joe, he's great. He helped us put it up, but we use all the same thing he does to put a mural up. Levels, bigger, but squares, you name it. All these kind of things are very important to paint a mural. When you get over there and you see things like the Academy, you got to have it square. And then another thing I found out when you're painting is the importance of any school teachers here. All right. Now I understand why we have metrics. When you're trying to paint a window this big and you try to go, is that 3/4 of an inch? And you go, hey, millimeters work so much easier. And these rulers come with both of them. So that's a nice thing about that. But we started this mural in October. I remember going to get the materials. My truck was going down the thruway like this. That stuff is light, each individual sheet, but it's got 22 sheets in that mural of 4x8s. And then we started. We didn't have a home, so we were painting in the on my barn. We had a real mild fall, so the railroad got put in part of it on my barn. But as you can see, the mural it's 12 feet high, so you can only have so much space to do it. So we had to really do a lot of calculating to paint it, to Photoshop and measurements and all crazy kind of stuff. And from there, we reached out. I want to recognize the Rose Community Center. I don't know if anybody is from here today, but they were wonderful. We found a home over there, and I love it. It's an old schoolhouse. It's got like 3 school rooms in it. Ghosts are there, I guess, too, but we didn't. It must be Casper because she was pretty friendly. So then we painted through the winter, and we had different shifts, and then we obviously we got it up on the nicest day of this week on Thursday. So, but it's been a great to know my the folks that help with this mural, and Debbie Benson. You're the best fundraiser I've ever seen. Right there.
Rounds, yes.
Corey and I, we're going to be working on the bicentennial, and that's going to be this summer. But we're sitting in the break room of Thatcher, which is over in Williamson, and on a day similar to this, we're trying to paint cobblestones and it's raining. And I said, Corey, we got to do this mural for Red Creek. Got some ideas? In the break room of Thatcher, this came to fruition. The idea of the arches and the bricks and all that. Corey is a great mathematician. He came up with a way to do this by measuring. The windows are 7 feet. It's up a foot here. And honest to God, to lay it out was easy. Thank you, Corey, for that. Putting that all together. That was great. And so, and Aline, thank you for helping out with all the historical, writing the checks and everything. And when we started this idea, we had a PowerPoint over for the Red Creek Fairhaven Rotary, and to have an idea just in the PowerPoint of having bricks that you could use for a fundraiser. But I think we ended up with 90. Is that right?
That's right.
Something like that. Corey knows he did them all. 90.
90 and
I think we could still squeeze a few more in if you want your name in, because we got to wait till the sun's out to do. We put a varnish on the murals, and I just want to go spend a little time. We went back to that. It's more than a paintbrush, okay? Because I think my artists are going to come up afterwards. All right. We have Corey Reynolds. He'll tell you about it. He's a veteran of Iraq War. So he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, and I've seen things that's why it's important for him to be painting when the truck go by. We had Travels with Darley show up, and she did a special, and Corey talked about. He can tell you all about that, but it's on PBS. he was painting a mural with Darlene. Okay. Then we got Bev Owen, who is presently going through leukemia. Okay, she's right over here. She'll talk about that. And Christina Lavar, and she's going through cancer treatment too. So, but like I said, it's more than a paintbrush. We're here supporting each other and making communities better in this world. So, and we're not done yet. We're going to be up. The neighbors right up the road. If you've been by the Palace Theater, there's like it's blank now.
Yeah.
Joe took it down a couple weeks ago. Well, a couple months ago now. But we're in the process of restoring the Woket mural. So you guys are going to be on this is what I call the Seaway Mural Trail. There's the Erie Canal, but you got the Seaway, Bicentennial, Ontario, Williamson Sodus, and all along this little great Seaway, there's going to be murals. And there's talk of Fairhaven joining the club here too. So that's all great stuff here. So, like I said, thank you everybody for coming out today. Any questions we can answer on the mural later. At this time, I don't know which artist was supposed to come.
Whichever one you want.
Since Bev's sitting right there, she just got back from Florida, and she can tell us all about her painting on this mural. She spent many hours. We all work different shifts. Bev liked to get up early in the morning, and sometimes we'd cross paths, and we'd have to go over different stuff to get corrections on stuff. So there's Bev. Oh, and I'll move it down for you here.
Hi, is everybody nice and warm? I'm not. So I don't know where to start, mostly with the mural. It's been a love for me. And I got to know Deb Benson, and she shared all of the history in a very personal way, and I love it. So when I was painting, it was very personal for me, because I got to know the story. Sometimes when you're painting a mural or whatever, you don't get the story, and it doesn't feel the same. But when you get the story and you have an emotional connection with it, then it becomes a real piece of art, to me anyway. So for me, it was great. I did most of the railroad scene. I guess about 90% of the circus scene. But in the circus scene, it's kind of funny because they said something about putting a monkey in there somewhere. So I'm trying to figure it out, and they were showing me pictures of squirrel monkeys and little monkeys of different kinds. And I thought, if I put that on top of the elephant, you're not going to see it. It's going to be so small, it'll be a little dot. So I used a chimpanzee just because it was bigger. After the fact, when Deb came over to look at what I was doing, she goes, oh my gosh, they used to own a chimpanzee. It wasn't in the circus, but it was one of their pets of the Snyder family. They had this pet monkey, which I guess some people in the town didn't like it too much. But it was their pet. And so I actually accidentally painted in something that belonged to them, which was kind of cool. My own personal journey, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and I am presently using integrated medicine rather than chemo. It's just my choice. The only problem is, of course, insurance doesn't cover it. But I was saying, and I think it's in our flyer that's online, isn't it, Mark?
Yes.
Of all of our stories.
Yeah, it's on our website.
So three of us have some story about our own personal illness, but you know what? I said in there, it's going to take more than leukemia to stop me from painting, and I will paint until I can't, and I plan on doing it for many more years. So, thank you. One last thing. I really hope that you get a lot of people to come and see this mural and have them understand and share with them what it's about. It's not just paint and pictures, it's a history. It's really got some heart to it. And I would love to have you guys at least share that with other people who come maybe to visit the cafe or whatever, but to get that out there. And we should do this in many different towns to get the history that will be there once that stuff is no longer here, but the history will still be there in the painting. And that's what we do. We paint history through paintbrushes and lots of painting. So thank you, so who wants to come up?
I'll just introduce.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say, I just remembered something when she talked about the railroad. The airport has a connection to me. I'm a Wadsworth. My mother was a Wadsworth, lived on Wadsworth Road, maybe about 4 or 5 miles from here. Yeah, good shout out to him, right? My aunt Andrea got her haircut from Erica. Yeah. So the connection, and my uncle Milt just passed away during COVID. I didn't even get to see him. Great guy. My uncle Phil Wadsworth started with my great grandfather, who I never met, or my grandfather who I never met. He got in a car crash in 1951. Started the whole poetry thing on Wadsworth Road. But when the Red Airport opened, the boys, as they called them, anybody remember the Woke at Hell's Angels? All right. Well, they were part. Oh yeah, there's Doobie Bryant and all those guys. They're all characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my uncles were part of that, Milt and Phil. So the story is, Phil flew the plane one day and he crashed it in the cornfield. So he's painted in the plane over there. Milt took off. He was having such a good time that he couldn't see the airport. So we didn't have cell phones back then, but you had to radio the tower and said, "Hey, can you guys come out and put your lights on the runway so I can land?" So he was able to land the plane in the Red Creek Airport because of that. So there's a lot of cool connections to family in this area. I love coming back. I call it my second home because I was a kid swimming in that pond, fishing in that pond, eating bullhead, skinning 30 bullheads. Anybody know where a good bullhead dinner is? I'm looking for one.
Louisiana.
Oh, those are catfish. Hey, so anyway, I'd like to introduce Christina. You want to come up, Christina, and talk about, she's one of our painters here. Thank you for coming today and helping us out in this one. She did that rotary bell, by the way. That's just, it looks real.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very short. Got it. Thanks. So I think Mark and Bev pretty much said it all. We're really, really proud of this mural, although we're proud of all our murals. This is the biggest one as of yet. We're looking forward to more. It's really a team effort. Aside from all the painters here, Joe helped us just of his own kindness, helped us put this monster up. Deb, if I'm forgetting anyone, I'm sorry, but it's definitely a team effort. And, you know, aside from us enjoying painting and, you know, doing these commissions, it really is therapeutic for us. Bev's fighting leukemia. I'm currently fighting stage 4 cancer. I plan on kicking it in the ass. Corey's fighting PTSD, and Mark's tasked with wrangling all of our crazy in, and we're tasked with keeping Mark on focus. Whenever he sees a red ball roll by, we have to bring him back. So, squirrel, yes. But we all, you know, we all have our things, and we make it work. We're a team. We love each other, and it's all good. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for all the sponsorships and making this happen. We love it. We hope you love it, and it'll be here forever. So thank you.
You want to do Corey?
Oh, this is Corey Reynolds. He's up next.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? I am Corey Reynolds. I'm a muralist. There are 5 panels that I decided I wanted to talk about. One that appeals the most to me, the circus. Over the course of 200 years, there have been hardships, wars, problems with the economy. The circus brought people together. It created camaraderie, it created memories. Bringing people together is important for our history because it is togetherness that builds the foundation for which we stand on today. The diversity of all this togetherness brings upon inventions, creations, and new ideas. That very foundation that we stand on today. I think the circus, bringing its exotic animals and drawing in people from other towns, other communities, enables us as a society in an unseen way to thrive and progress, to work together and build a brighter future. It does this in a way that makes you feel good about it, much as which makes us feel good about painting murals. Which brings me to my personal experience and my involvement here today. When I joined Mural Mania, my mind was shrouded in darkness through battles of PTSD. I'm a war veteran, as you all know. Painting became an outlet for me and helps bring me out of darkness, much like the circus would for others. It helps remind you that when you veer off the road, there's a reason to get yourself back between the lines. Don't let a little dust you kicked up be your life's last breath. Mural Mania has shined its light on me through dark times. It has brought me together with my comrades here, and we've learned new things from each other. I believe the circus has a beacon of light for a brighter future, and it brings all of you together, and here we are today making history. Thank you for having us do this mural, and we are all deeply honored by that.
Thank you for your service, Corey.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. I'll do it again.
Mark, I'm going to move your stuff a little.
Oh, I'll take
here.
it out. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
I
It's
can
gonna
put
fall
this
over.
under here, but you might want the tools.
You gotta do woke it yet.
And here's some golden paint that didn't smell.
No, we got the lid on tight.
Okay. The mural was hung by Joe Gregg and Corey Reynolds. We want to thank them for doing that.
I'm okay.
If you don't know where the Snyder Circus was, the Snyder House is the next house past the library, and there was a barn behind it, and that's where the animals wintered over. So the house stands, the barn didn't. But anyhow, it's the house is still there. Red Creek historian, the village historian, Deb Benson, is here to explain which pictures were chosen and the historical importance of each. And there's also a little blurb about each of them inside of the program.
Before I talk about the history, I hope someone here will do a head count, because I'm thinking this is probably the biggest crowd we've had downtown Red Creek in quite some time. And we want to keep track of those history-making events.
All right.
Well, this is fun. Oh, and a couple of other things. I understand there are a few spelling mistakes on the bricks. I want to assure you that if anything is wrong, it will be corrected before the mural is sealed. We just were made aware this morning. We cannot blame the artists for that. They only painted what we sent to them. So, but don't worry, it will be corrected. So, about the mural. We've heard the word history here a lot today, and that is what it's all about. And I know we've all heard people say, history, a bunch of dates and random facts that we memorize those to pass a test in school, but they don't really have anything to do with us. But that's not true. History is stories. It's stories about people and events and places that affect where we are and who we are today. And that's what our mural is. It's a storyteller. And it tells 5 stories that are important to this village. Excuse me. Jacob Snyder came here over 200 years ago looking for a homestead for his family. He had 10 kids, so they really needed some room. But as well as space, they of course needed the basics of food, shelter, water. Well, when he came here, he found virgin forest, abundant game, and at that time, a pure and powerful source of water in Big Red Creek. In 1813, Jacob and his sons dammed that creek and formed Red Lake. What we now call the pond was at one time a lake. And that was the beginning of the mill industry here in the village that lasted for more than 100 years. So the water is vital to the story of our village. And so of course the pond or the creek has a window in the mural. William Wood was another prominent citizen of the village. In the 1830s, he was quite wealthy. He was a banker, he was a miller, and he decided that he wanted to provide his family with an education beyond what was provided by the one-room schoolhouse. So he and some of his financially comfortable friends got together and built the Red Creek Union Academy. It was a private, very prestigious school in the beginning, and over time that evolved into the Red Creek Central School District.
Which is still a really good school.
That's right. And the 1860 portion of that building still stands today. It's what we call the Hilltop Apartments. So for over 150 years, she has stood on that hill as a reminder that the tradition of fine education here in Red Creek started at the academy. So of course the academy needed a window also. So by the mid-1800s, this was a boom town. We were thriving. We had industry, retail stores, professional services. Farms around were very profitable. But there came an opportunity for even more prosperity when the Lake Ontario Shore Railroad proposed to extend across Wayne County and onto the Niagara River. So right here in 1871, the first spadeful of soil was turned right down by Fuller's. It started the construction of that railroad here in Wayne County. And our depot, which is the O'Brien home now, it was the first stop on that rail line. That railroad had some financial problems, but it was around for many years under different names, and it served the village until 1959. So the railroad is part of the mural. By the 1920s, many people in the area, mostly men, were private pilots. They owned small planes that they flew from grass strips on their own property. But our village fathers decided, well, maybe Red Creek needs an airport. So Labor Day 1928, the Red Creek Municipal Airport opened. The first municipal airport in Wayne County. We also had the distinction of being the smallest town in the state, possibly in the entire country, that had its own airport. And it wasn't just an airport, it was a really top-notch facility. Military and government officials praised what a great facility it was. So of course the airport is in there. And if you don't already know, that was located up on where the school campus is now. And the final window recognizes Frank Snyder, descendant of Jacob's, who as a young boy, he loved the circus, and he always wanted to have his own circus. And well into middle age, he made that dream come true. And the Snyder Brothers Circus was born right here, and as Bonnie said, he lived down next to the library. And in the barn she mentioned, the lions and the other cats from the circus, the bears, and some of the monkeys would spend their winters in that barn right here, Main Street, Red Creek. There's stories about some of the cats getting loose and raiding hen houses around the village, and monkeys strolling down the street, wandering into the stores. So, and to this day, Red Creek is the only community in upstate New York to be the home of a big top circus. So another first for Red Creek. So those are the 5 stories in our mural. There's so many more here, but this is just the beginning. But we really hope that this mural, piques your interest in what happened here and how things came to be. and we hope you'll dig a little bit deeper. It wasn't too long ago, I overheard someone, and I was quite offended by it, say that Red Creek's that wide spot in the highway on the way to Fairhaven. Well, we are so much more than that. There is so much here to be proud of, and if you aren't aware of that, I'd be glad to tell you all about it. So, thank you all for coming. It's been a great day.
Thank you.
One thing I forgot to say, in the mural, there are several Easter eggs, hidden little treasures, special meaning. And I'm only going to give you one hint. Take a look at the belfry at the Academy and you'll see what I mean.
And when Debbie tells you that there's a lot more stories, she could go on for hours. Thank you for now. But, but she could. She has lots and lots of stories. I was just speaking to our artist, Corey. If you, up till now, were not moved to have your name on a brick, but now you want to be here and get your name on the brick, all you got to do is drop us a check. Eileen, raise your hand over here. She'll take your money and your information, and your name could be on the brick. You have from now until they seal it. But I would do sooner rather than later.
Well, we got an hour.
Eventually, we are going to have sunshine. So, yes. 100 people here. Yes. All right. Now was when we were going to show the mural, but you can see it. But the mural was dedicated to the memory of two local historians and Eileen Williams. Would you like to come forward and dedicate this mural to some ladies that you knew very well?
Show must go on was all I could think of this morning as it was pouring and we were trying to set these tents up. I'm very proud. I hope everybody here is proud of your part in seeing this mural come to realization. As Bonnie said, we're going to honor our past historians because without their dedication in saving history for those of us that have gone beyond them, this would not have been possible. So, my grandmother, Anna Bush Tabor, who was the first historian, and Grace McCarthy Frost, our second historian, very wonderful people. We dedicate this mural in their memory.
Now, the Red Creek Historical Association does have some more projects in the works. And we invite you to join us by enrolling at the membership desk today, way in the back. Ginny couldn't make it because, well, she broke a leg. We have had, I don't know, I won't go through everybody's things, but we have been people in and out of the hospital all week long. So this has been I bit my nails so bad I had to go get fake ones. What can I tell you? You can join today. Again, Betty Pace is in the back and she'd be more than happy to take your money. The dues paid today will be good through June of 2024. For those who are already a member, Betty has, I want to make sure that I have the right addresses for everyone, and she'll check that for you. If you take a closer look at the mural, you'll find a lot of people included in there. Surprise! And we have refreshments in the back. The cupcakes were made by Carolyn's Creations in Cato. And speaking of refreshments, the Opera House Cafe is offering specials today. So please patronize the businesses that have supported us. And in closing, at one time there was a group of people called the Community Players. And they raised a lot of money for many, many, many things here. So if you were ever a community player, please stand up. If you were ever related to someone who was a community player, please stand up. We got a few standing in the back. Okay. There's a song on the back of your program. I hope y'all have programs by now. If not, quick, Star, run around and pass out programs. And we're going to sing that song. Jackie Lalick was going to lead us. She's in the hospital. The song is, you know it if you're a community player. You don't even need those words, do you? Now, I'm going to start it, but I know how my voice is. So once I start it, I'm going to step away from this mic. So you guys are going to all have to sing loud. The words are on the back to My Kind of Town. And my kind of town, Red Creek is. My kind of town, Red Creek is. My kind of people too. People who smile at you and each time I roam, Red Creek is calling me home. Red Creek is one town that won't let you down. Is my kind of town. One more time. My kind of town, Red Creek is. My kind of town, Red Creek is. My kind of people too. People who smile at you and each time I roam, Red Creek is calling me home. Red Creek is one town that won't let you down. Is my kind of town. Thank you. Help yourself to a cupcake. We got some water. Thank you. Mark, you have something?
You know how long it's been since I heard
If you
that
didn't
song?
see it,
They were singing in the parking lot.
we have it. My town is in the banner above the plate.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. Anybody else want to say something before we close? Yes.
Oh, you'll never get him to stop talking.
Oh, no!
I know that.
I'm Tommy. You got 30 seconds, dear.
Okay. My greatest thing was teaming up with the Mural Mania team to help Red Creek,
Right over here, right
help
over here.
Wolcott. I also teamed up with Mural Mania, as far as with Mark anyway, for the Trail of Hope to extend the trail, and I have help from one of my good friends, and we're going to take the railroad ties out between Waters Road and Church Street and whatever's between Wolcott left, and they're going to put that on the trail map for the county to try to bring more people towards Red Creek and Fairhaven to cross-country ski, to hike, and it's going to be put on the county map.
Nice.
So we can hopefully spur some more interest to come our way for little tourist adventures. If someone wants to get somewhere and unload, they can hike sections of the railroad bed being put on the county trail map. And getting rid of the railroad ties will, you continue on the rest
Well,
of it.
it's called the Hojack Trail, and that's in the train depot. And I came over this winter when there was snow. Even in Red Creek, it was like sparse this year, which is crazy. It's a beautiful trail, and it goes. But it's interesting. You see the sign that says 6 miles to Fairhaven, 5 from here. But then you go down, and it goes. You come to you go on the railroad, and it says 8 miles to Fairhaven. I found out why. It goes to Sterling Center because they had to pick up the farm produce as they went down the trail. Then it goes back to Fairhaven. But it's a beautiful trail. It can be just like the Erie Canal Trail bike trail. But thank you,
That's what
everybody.
we're hoping.
Anybody out here that wants to talk about this history just before we close? Anything? Are we good? Yeah, we are. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. And please come over and take a good close-up of this mural. If you have any questions, either we can answer it or Debbie Benson can answer it. Thank you very much.
Give you your jacket.
No, you can hold on.